Hi, I'm Andy Black. I'm a non-executive director for the Oak Tree Farm. The Oak Tree Community Farm is a community-supported agriculture project in Ipswich and Suffolk. We've got 70 people that have what are called veg shares, and what those 70 veg shares represent could be a family, could be an individual, or other groups have got together who want to receive a box of veg once a week from the farm. As part of the deal, they have to pay a contribution, but they also have to give up some of their time and labour. And those jobs are very varied. They can be from planting to harvesting to looking after our free-range chickens. Although we are on the edges of a big urban area in Ipswich, we've noticed that people really enjoy that sense of space, being out in the nature. So we have members that have got young children who are coming up with their children to introduce them to nature and working outside and telling them where food comes from. We have people that are semi-retired that are coming out just for a social activity, for their health and well-being, and we have people that are working or just passionate about the environment and where food comes from and producing it in a low carbon and local way.
I think we'll move it back. Cool. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Cool.
Same for this one.
We're going to move this one
Oh, right.
back up.
Okay. There is an egg underneath this one, I seem to remember.
Oh, is there?
Oh, yeah.
And plenty of hens underneath as well.
All right.
Everyone alright?
Yeah. Watch out for the hens.
And the egg.
And the egg.
Precious egg.
Precious egg.
Yeah, back here is good.
Good, Dan. Okay.
Obviously we get eggs from the chickens, but another really good part for the chickens on the farm is that they fertilise the ground for us. So we move them around the whole farm. So they're basically due for a move really to a whole different part of the farm. You can see that it's quite bare earth at the moment. And when we moved them, it was full of vegetation. So they've eaten all that and they've scratched it down to the bare earth. So if we wanted to, we could plant another crop into this, and it would, you wouldn't have to buy fertilizer. But when they're in one area, we still make sure we move their houses around because that gives you like an even distribution of manure across the whole area. If you just left it, you'd get like 2 or 3 patches which are like way too fertile, and you'd get the rest of it wouldn't, it'd still be a little bit, but just not as even. So yeah, this will be really good ground for next year if we wanted to.
Did you have some of the eggs earlier you were going to show us?
Yeah, sure. So the members, as well as getting their veg box, they can pay a little bit extra and just get an egg share each week. They're a little muddy because they live outdoors and they step on them sometimes, but
Makes it look more like it actually came from the farm.
yeah, exactly. I think they have to give them really clean environments for the eggs to be really clean when you get them in the supermarket. They don't wash them or anything. So it kind of probably means that they're not really outdoors, or if they are outdoors, it's not in a sort of environment you might expect. It might be a little bit more controlled and maybe not. So they're just out here, right here, and they're it gets muddy because it's been raining a lot, and in the summer it's dry, so the eggs are dry. So it's just one of those things you get used to, or and understand. That helps. If you understand why it is, then you've taken a step. Everything's recycled on the farm. Everything's been something else. The houses are made of old water containers. This is obviously just a borough council bin with a hole in the bottom so that they can peck. It's quite ingenious, really. Obviously we fill it to the top so that they're always good for food. but it just means that they can come and eat whenever they want, rather than us having to come and give them feed. We've got some pretty old hens that are sort of 7 or 8 years old that, you know, most farms would have just like killed because they're not laying eggs anymore, but we just let them, you know, wander around. So yeah, we try and do it as nicely as possible. He's got a brother and they both live next door. Well, they're owned by the people next door. But he comes over here because I think it's because there's more people over here during the day. So he kind of comes over and people feed him and he like plays up to attention and things like that. But yeah, he's pretty useful to have around, obviously, on a farm. He like gets the mice and the rats. Him and his brother, if they're like around, they tend to have a fight. So he's kind of like established this as like his territory. And his brother hangs out at stables and stuff like that.
So this one hangs out at bins.
Right, yeah. He hangs out. He's pretty good at finding places to have a nap. But yeah, he's usually roams around the farm. But we have to be careful if there's any groups that have come with like packed lunches and things. He'll like get into people's bags, and like he's eating like pizzas like that are already in the packaging and stuff like that. He just rips through it. Yeah, he's pretty brutal. But yeah, he still gets his mice every day, so he's still a proper cat.
Is this your first day, you said, then?
Yeah. To be honest, I've just come along to see if I like digging potatoes, I guess. And I wanted something to get me out of the house and outside and actually doing some exercise.
No, I hear that. With COVID and everything, it's...
Yeah. I'm going back to work next week, so
What do you work as?
I work at Waterstones, the bookshop,
Oh, fair, yeah.
and obviously you've got to be on your feet all day running around. So after 6 months of sitting around and trying to get art done, I figured this might help.
Yeah, might relax you.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a member of the Oak Tree Farm. Been here 7 or 8 years now since I took early retirement. Just go through the box today. It varies from week to week, but today we've got about half a dozen items. I think it's a fairly typical autumn box. It's a mixture of roots, carrots. Everybody gets carrots today. We've got a nice little bag of carrots. About 500 grams I think today. It varies from week to week. We've bought in some mushrooms recently. We don't do that every week, but we've got some mushrooms just to top up the box. So we've got some local organic mushrooms. Everybody gets a leek this week. As you can see behind us, we've got a nice crop of leeks that should last us well into the spring. So that's a nice prime leek. And people are getting some leaves as well. They're either getting rainbow chard, a bag of rainbow chard, or some people are getting kale, so they've got a choice of kale or rainbow chard today. And we've also, strangely, we've got some purple sprouting broccoli which has started to flower. They're only supposed to do that in the spring. We plant them late in the season and they should just overwinter, and then come the spring they should start flowering like that. And it literally is a flower. It starts off purple, and if you don't pick it, it turns yellow and bushes out, and it genuinely is the flower. But for some reason they've started to sprout and flower this time of year. And finally 2 or 3 beetroot. So I think that's about half a dozen things. There's usually some stuff left over which we put in what we call a swap box, and today we've got quite a few, help yourself, Brussels sprouts tops. The way it grows, you get the stem of the sprout and then you get a sort of a head on it like that, which clearly is much bigger than a Brussels sprout. It's not firm, it's all floppy, but it's like a cabbage. Tastes slightly of Brussels sprouts, very tasty. So we trim them off. They're perfectly edible, they're nice. So we get them, we haven't got enough to give everybody, but people can help themselves. The first people up here, if they want some, pick them 2 or 3 of those. And the idea is that if you take the tops off, the Brussels sprout grows bigger on the tree. So that's a typical box from the Oak Tree Farm.
We don't like waste at the oak tree. A lot of the stuff that you see at Tesco's is very artificial. When you get a bag of carrots, they're all going to be a uniform size, uniform weight. They started selling wonky veg. We've done wonky veg at the oak tree for many, many years. A lot of our veg is very, very wonky. So some of the stuff you get, you might have to look through it fairly carefully. You might have to trim it a little bit. But it's natural, it's organic, and it's not wasted. That's the important thing. It needs to be pretty poor before we give it to the chickens, but even there, at the end of the day, it doesn't get wasted. The chickens enjoy it.
You're keeping a box?
Probably missing, yeah, there's one box.
There's a
over
box
there.
that you've got, yeah.
There's probably one missing a bag of greens. A bag of...
Is there?
Yes, because I've got it over there.
Oh, right. Okay, well, that's got
So they should all have two
broccoli
plastic
tops.
bags. No, purple sprouting, or I took a bag of char from one.
They've all got broccoli tops.
Yep. No, well, purple sprouting. None of them have got broccoli tops.
There's tops in the bag then?
Purple sprouting.
Oh, right. They're not all purple though.
Oh, perhaps not. Oh no, we call them purple sprouting though. That's what it is.
That's just a trick of the
It's
trade.
just green purple sprouting.
It's definitely not all purple. Yeah. Oh, reach that one round there, John. That bag I've just not got mushrooms in it.
That's carrots only. Yes.
Good. They're all right on the top.
You've got an extra leek. And it's got your name all over it. Don't know.
Is that the floppy one?
No, I've got.
You got the floppy.
I've got the floppy one.
All right.
No, it's not.
Leek. Yeah, they're all right. Leek. Yeah, I think it's a spare. Who picked the leeks?
No wonder.